Welcome back to Sports Prophecy TV, guys. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and today we're going to break down the United States provisional squad. We want to also see how their squad compares to the Jamaican Reggae Boys as they face off June 24th at Soldier Field. This will be the big matchup. However, on this go around, I don't think the United States will do what they did in previous Gold Cups, where they brought a weaker team or some fringe players to basically look at. I think the United States is here to win this Gold Cup, but I think teams like Jamaica will have something to say about it. You remember, it's gonna be that big Group A showdown: Jamaica, Nicaragua. Jamaica, United States. No, if you look at the United States squad, I'm seeing a lot of local based players for the US, players out of Dallas FC, um, LA Galaxy. There's a lot of players in England, but I think a bulk of their players in the squad, New York City FC, Atlanta FC. If you go down, you will start seeing the Pulisic, the guys out of Chelsea, the Arsenal, the Trusty, the Wiley, the Ways, the guys out of Spain. But I'm looking at the squad and I'm starting to wonder, how is this US team planning to suit up for this Gold Cup? We don't really know how the United States is planning on playing. Are they planning to play the way they played in the World Cup? A lot of us would say that the United States did kind of overachieve, or did they underachieve? Many US fans thought they were a better team. As you know, Pulisic is also calling for Berhalter to come back as the head coach, as he probably did a good job getting those guys ready for that goal, that previous World Cup. No, this Gold Cup is gonna be very interesting. Because can the United States kick on from their previous performances? As you know, they dominated the World Cup qualifiers. Mexico, Canada, and the United States, they are the top dogs in CONCACAF. How do they compare to a Jamaica? I still think the United States has an edge if you look at their squad. They have a lot more players playing in England than Jamaica actually have currently in the team. Though Jamaica has a plethora of players in England, there's a lot of issues surrounding players getting their citizenship and their passport. And there will be big news on players that should be getting their documents very soon, or who has received their documents. Those will be breaking news coming out this week. But as you already know, Jamaica will be getting one of those prolific wingers. Everybody know who Demarai Gray is. Demarai Gray, the Everton man, and I'm sure the United States will be planning for this player. This is not a player that you just suit up and you go out there and play him. You have to have a game plan. But on the other side, the United States have a lot of big hitters. When we talk about Giovanni Reina, we talk about Musa, we talk about Pulisic. A lot of these top guns, I'm looking at their squad and they are quite loaded. But I still don't know who is the best 11 for the United States. And then we start seeing players out of San Jose Earthquake, FC Dallas. We're seeing a lot of players. For me, those are unknown players. Matthew Timothy, Way. These are the players out of Scotland. They have players in Real Sociedad, players at Toronto, New England Revolution, Atlanta United, Leeds United. A lot of these players, though, are not really tearing up their league. So I still think that the gap between the United States and Jamaica is not that wide. Other than the big names that we are used to, the way the Musa, the Pulisic, the Giovannis, there's not a lot of players that I can say, oh, Jamaica should be really scared. However, United States always show up as a team that's very fit, a team that's very organized. They handle home court advantage very well. However, CONCACAF football tends to be very tricky. It doesn't really reward the best team the result on every occasion, because we've seen times where teams like the United States struggle against teams like El Salvador, sometimes Honduras. It just depends on the day, and it also depends on the referees. CONCACAF referees tend to take over the game. I don't know their reason for that. They tend to slow down the game big time. And looking at the United States team who wants to play fast, they wants to play that expansive football, the referee could also play a big role in this game. Now, Jamaica versus the United States. The provisional squads, I think, looking at the squads here, I think the United States does have the edge. They have a lot more players playing in the top leagues. But if you also look at the Jamaican squad, there's not a lot of local based Jamaican players who will be making that cut. And as you know, Jamaica will be preparing for the United States game in a mini tournament in Austria, kicking off next Thursday, June 15 versus Qatar and June 19 versus Jordan. No, the United States will be looking at Jamaica to see what they're doing, how Jamaica is preparing, but I don't think they will be getting much from those games as Jamaica is still in experiment mode where they're still trying to find their best 11. I think Jamaica does know who the core 8 or 9 players are, but I think they still need to find those other cutting edge players. With Damari Gray coming in, he's gonna change the dynamic big time for Jamaica. Deshaun Bernard, he's another good center back. Will Jamaica shift to a back three? So these are things that the United States will have to think about going up against a Jamaica. And it's gonna be a showdown. I know teams like Canada would like to dethrone the US, teams like Mexico. So it's gonna be a big summer. So looking at the squad right now, the provisional squad, I have to say that the United States squad has an edge over Jamaica's squad. But hey, football is not played on paper. They will have to show up on the day. Both teams will have to show up on the day to get that result. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in to Sports Prophecy TV. I'm your host, Jay Taylor. Until next time.